All right, so chapter 351, Hunter x Hunter, Chrollo versus Hisoka, chapter The Death Match. Ladies and gentlemen, the first challenger chosen by our indolent Reaper for the Floor Master battle is also another Floor Master who will be facing his first of these matches. Allow us to introduce Hisoka versus Chrollo. Oh man, this is so lit, man. You got Chrollo there with his earrings. Hisoka with the stars. At last, my wish has come true. After waiting so long, I'd rather not fight. As if this were all just for fun and games. Indeed, to be honest, having you chase after me all this time has really grown tiresome. That goes for the both of us. Let's take this battle to the death. Okay. Unbelievable. The Floor Master Chrollo has just proposed a fight to the death, and Hisoka has given his consent. A death match has been decided. Only one survivor will remain. The only condition for victory is the opponent's death. Death. The use of any and all weapons is permitted, on both of your honor and pride. Fight. Hisoka pulls out the book. Chrollo pulls out the book. Hisoka pulls out a card. They both charge their nen. Hisoka's looking at him. He has both of his hands out. He pulls out the needle. Huh? He stabs him with a needle. Probably. Yeah, stabs him with the needle. The needle has N on it, so black voice. I see. The whole reason he was playing cat and mouse. Come on, let's have a go. Gotta catch me first. Was so he could collect more cards. Beep beep beep. He's still holding another antenna. So that must be part of the same Nen ability. So it's not a separate ability. So he has. Man, Chrollo's pretty skilled too, because isn't that. So he's holding the book up with his right hand, and he's using the book to summon this. This is a specialist ability because Chrollo's a specialist, right? And he has his whatchamacallit. He has the phone out from the Phantom Troop member. Another antenna. The referee is joining Chrollo in attacking Hisoka. So by using the referee to keep me from moving, he's trying to stick me with the antenna. Oh no, he still has the antenna in his hand. Okay. That was the same antenna. He kicks him away. He's trying to stick my leg. He kicks up here, and then he moves his leg down, and then Chrollo kind of steps on him. Damn, I faint, and then kicks him away. So he was feinting the remote control. The strength of a control system, as soon as he can satisfy its requirements, it's checkmate. He's only holding one phone, so does that mean he can control one person, or can he control two people at the same time? If you can transmit messages to disperse orders, then that would make it a definite possibility. Should I yank out his antenna? If I can break the one that's in the referee, he should lose control over him. But if he could only send one command in the first place, then Chrollo will be waiting for me to try that. Stomp, 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 stomp. So Chrollo is kind of just poking him out. Hisoka doesn't know if he can use that other antenna to control him. But even if he can't control him with the under antenna, he still shouldn't let him get it. He still shouldn't let Hisoka stab him with the antenna, because if Hisoka can stab him with the antenna, but he can only use one, then all he has to do is just break the other antenna, then he can control Hisoka. So he's stepping on him. He put bungee gum onto the referee that he kicked away. That was what he did over there. He kicked him away, he stuck him with bungee gum. Then he pulls the body back, the dead body, and then he tries to hit him with it. Max speed contract. Chrollo notices, and then he dodges out of the way. Yeah, he dodged out of the way. So then Chrollo sticks another puppet, and then he sends the puppet after Hisoka. So he used two antennas. One antenna is in that puppet, the other antenna is in this puppet. Step, step, step. He's going to try to use the referee as a shield while waiting for a chance to stick me with the antenna. Being able to control others, be it just one or many, really is the most powerful battle tactic. The only reason he showed me his approach for instantly killing me is so he can be wary of it, probably. It's to force me to be constantly vigilant, yeah, of the antenna, and eventually crush my spirit. In other words, this is his declaration of his intent to draw this fight out. You get me so excited. I wholeheartedly accept your challenge. An explosion? There's something wrong with this blood. Bungee. The sun and the moon. Sun and moon. Sun and moon. His book, he's not holding it. Okay. It's just the way it looks. Using this ability requires both of my hands. With my left hand, I can affix the seal of the sun, plus. And with my right hand, I can affix the seal of the moon, minus. When the two seals touch each other, they explode. Now I affix seals to the referee's left hand and back. The seals themselves can be affixed in an instant, but for them to reach their full power, they require the target to keep them pressed together for 3 to 5 seconds. When the seals touch for when the seals touch just for an instant, you end up with an explosion like the one you just saw now. But the full powered explosion will blast every person around into tiny pieces. I acquired this ability in Meteor City. Is he dead? So does that seal remain on him indefinitely then? Because if he affixed did he affix both? He didn't affix both, right? He had to have, right? For him to explode him, he would have had to have affixed both, or he would have had to put a sign on Chrollo when he touched him, when he kicked him. But wasn't touched. Chrollo didn't touch him. Did he say he can only put it when he touches him? My left hand can affix the sun, and my right hand can affix the moon. Yeah, so he has to use his hands, okay? Now I affix seals to the referee's left hand and back. Well, aren't you sweet? You're going easy on me, aren't you? But perhaps you've gone a little too easy for your own good. I won't be doing that again. Let's start fresh then, shall we? After all, this isn't any old regular death match. What's important here is style, right? I dare say it's even more important than victory or defeat. You mean you're not completely focused on winning? Well, that kind of turns me off a bit. Of course, I have every intent of winning. What about you? After seeing my hand, do you still want to call? As I demonstrated as I demonstrated, gosh. As I demonstrated, this bookmark allows me to maintain access to any ability on the page it's placed, even if the book is closed. Double face. Furthermore, I am able to use whatever ability I have the book open to as well. So he can use at most two abilities. Yes, that's it. Whatever it takes for you to be able to fight well. Battles are a dance. We need to synchronize our pulses and our breaths. As I demonstrated, this bookmark allows me to maintain access to any ability on the page it is placed, even if the book is closed. Furthermore, I am able to use whatever ability I happen to have the book open to as well. Okay. I've got to point out a little problem with what you said there. Between the bookmark itself, the ability it gives you access to, and the ability you have the book actually open to, wouldn't exactly be double at all, would it, right? Rather, it'd be triple. It would be triple. Well, if we're counting, if we're keeping count like that, if we included the book as well, it would make it quadruple. That's true too. This bookmark belongs to the book and is not an ability that I have stolen. It is simply a skill which allows me to use two stolen abilities at the same time. Exactly what I said. And incidentally, there only exists one bookmark. The possibility of being able to combine these abilities together is incredibly powerful, although this bookmark's original purpose was simply the former. So it was only intended to use for Chrollo to be able to use two abilities, but he's combining them. But he's combining the bookmark together. Normally using my skill hunter would require me to open the book, would require me to hold the book, to hold my book in my right hand. But after having stolen abilities that require the uses of both my hands, I had to make changes to be able to use them. Because of that, I now have some new bothersome limitations to deal with, but actually having both my hands free actually greatly improves my hand-to-hand fighting while using abilities. I can use one ability while still having both my hands free. It's absolutely wonderful, don't you think? So let's start with this ability, and then I'll be introducing you to three more. Indeed wonderful. This is a new record for the number of abilities it's taking me to kill one person. You should take that as a compliment. Alright, I'm following pretty closely. So he has Sun and Moon, which I'm assuming that's one ability. Sun and Moon is one ability because it does require both hands, but it's one ability. It's a combined ability. It's not separate. He has the bookmark, which allows him to use one stolen ability. And then he only used Shalnark's phone so far. So he's only used, and including the book, that's four abilities that he's used so far. He pulls out the bookmark. Abilities all have their own advantages and disadvantages. It's up to the ability user to compensate for its drawbacks. For example, by concealing as much as possible about the power, carefully choosing the location for battle or the opponent, or to fight as part of a team. But in addition to all that, I am even able to increase the number of abilities I have at my disposal. Which means that until I am certain that I have enough tools to achieve victory, I can just keep on waiting. And you've got it all worked out now. Is that right? You know what gets me off more than anything else in this world? It's the moment people like you can whimper, "How can this be?" as I gaze upon them. As he's talking a lot of smack, I'm not gonna lie. That's very bold to say to somebody you gave freaking months of prep time, years of prep time. That guy's freaking bold. It's a moment like as I gaze upon them right after I shatter their knees. How about we get back to talking about abilities? Order stamp proof of humanity. Shalnark's black voice is an ability that controls people, whereas this is an ability that controls puppets. Although Black Voice's cell phone being able to change the will of a person certainly has its merits, at the most it's capable of controlling two people. This stamp, however, is capable of controlling a great number of puppets. Unfortunately, it cannot give very complex orders. So as I thought, his strategy will be centered around finishing me off with the cell phone, but I still don't understand. According to his explanation thus far, he won't be able to control both people and puppets at the same time. Does he have something else up his sleeve? I mean, he can control both people and puppets, right? Because if he puts the bookmark on Shalnark's phone, if he has the bookmark on Shalnark's phone, then that means he can have Shalnark's phone out. Um, Oh no, he can't. He can only have one ability out because he has to hold the if even if he has the even if he has Shalnark's phone, then that's him using with the bookmark. But if he has to hold up the book to get the other ability, then he doesn't have another hand free. He needs to have a hand free to use an ability. So he can only use one ability from he can only use one stolen ability and then one personal ability. So that's either the sun or the moon or the stamp. Or I don't think the stamp is I think the stamp is a stolen ability, right? Does he say the stamp is a stolen ability? It's hard to tell. I think the stamp might be a stolen ability. Flip, flip, flip. I'll keep this place. I'll keep this place with the bookmark. And now I'm sure you remember seeing this before, don't you? Gallery fake, divine left hand, demonic right hand. Humans are such a mysterious thing. From how I see it, there's nothing different between a corpse and a puppet. They're both just immobile masses. But for the original order, but for the original owner of Order Stamp, there was an important difference between the two. For although he was unable to animate a corpse, he could animate a puppet copy. From how I see it, there's nothing different between a corpse and a puppet. They're both just immobile masses. But for the original owner of the ability, the Order Stamp, there was an important difference. He couldn't animate a corpse, but he could animate a puppet. So he didn't consider them. So Chrollo probably has to abide by those rules, which is why he's using a copy. Stand. So this is the one with order stamp, and this is the one that's gallery faked. Gallery fake, divine left hand, demonic right hand. So he has to have both hands free to use this ability, which is why he put the bookmark in there. Okay. So he needs the bookmark in there to use Shalnark's phone. He also needs the bookmark in there to use any ability that requires both hands. And if he's using both hands and I'm assuming the sun and the moon, maybe using the sun and the moon is two abilities, but maybe using the sun is one ability and the moon is one ability. So you can tag one puppet with the moon. You can create a gallery fake, tag one puppet with the moon, and order stamp it, right? Copy it and order stamp it. Okay. Stand. For the previous owner, it seems the only criteria for when a puppet ceased to be a puppet, break Hisoka, was whether or not its head was still attached to its body. Break Hisoka. A puppet's parts can influence how it ultimately carries out its orders. Ordering that ordering a puppet that was copied from a human to kill someone will be heavily influenced by their original personality and nature. They might choose an extremely inefficient means to try to accomplish the task, or just intend to kill their target at some point in their life before they die. In the worst cases, there have been many puppets that have completely frozen up and refused to acknowledge the order. But by replacing that order with break instead, somehow it seems to detach their mind from their body. To to dive deep into the darkness within the heart of an ability's previous owner, all while making it completely my own. That is this true thrill of a skill hunter. So Hisoka grabs his head and twists it off. That's right. By removing the head of the puppet is stopped and the stamp disappears as well. But since I haven't dispelled gallery fake, the copy will still remain there, just as it is. If I want the copies to disappear, I can just decide to release gallery fake at any time. And what's your last ability? This. Although it's possible for me to activate my left hand while holding my book, if I want to be able to activate my right hand as well, I'll need to use the bookmark. After activating the ability, I can continue to maintain it without the book, without the bookmark, as long as I have the book open, as long as I have the book in hand and open to its page. Okay. Although it's possible for me to activate my left hand while holding my book in my right hand, because he has to hold it in his right hand. That's one of the conditions he has to do. He has to hold the book in his right hand. If I want to activate my right hand as well, I'll need to use the bookmark. So if I want to use both hands on this ability, I need to use the bookmark. After activating the ability, I can continue to maintain it even without the bookmark, as long as I have the book in hand. As long as I have the book in hand and open to its page. Convert hands transfer student. By touching someone with my right hand, they take on my likeness. By touching someone with my left hand, I can take on theirs. If I touch someone with both hands at the same time, we instantly swap appearances. Of course, our bodies are being swapped. Obviously, our personalities and abilities remain intact. By touching someone with my right hand, they take on my likeness. They look like me. By touching someone with my left hand, I look like them. We swap appearances or I swap appearances. If I touch someone with my right hand, they take on my look. They look like me. Touch them with my left hand, I look like them. Okay. I think it would be rather simple to distinguish which one is me, though. After all, these marks will still remain in my palms. Does this mean he can't make a copy of himself with arrow marks on it using gallery fake? He would have to activate gallery fake via the bookmark being inserted while he still has the arrow marks on his hands. That book is a lot to consider. Whether using abilities like gallery fake or convert hands, creating a copy of a human being requires the aid of manipulator abilities. Two abilities both from the same school, and they will both play their distinct part. in order to kill you. I take it the lecture is over then. Now we can finally begin. One last thing, I'll offer you an even more piece of information. Normally, if the person whose ability I stole with Skill Hunter dies, then that ability also vanishes from within the book, which will leave me incapable of using it any longer. But among the abilities I just explained to you, one of them belonged to someone who is now dead, and yet still remains in my book. Nen becoming even stronger through death. It appears you understand. That even surprised me. That ability's owner was the elder of Meteor City. Someone from the outside was going to attack the residents, so he turned his brethren into bombs and had them deliver a message. Unlike the owner of Order Stamp, the elder saw no great difference at all between humans and puppets. Well, I suppose I don't either. You can already guess, can't you, what I'm trying to say? Oh, yes, the sun and the moon. Once the seals have been affixed, they will never disappear. Exactly. It doesn't matter whether the book is open or closed, the seal will remain until they explode. So he got the sun and the moon ability from the Grand Elder. And that ability, if you put both of the marks on them after 3 to 5 seconds, there's an explosion. And the owner didn't see a difference between humans and puppets. So it lasts forever, basically. This could turn out extraordinarily troublesome. This completes my explanation. This isn't meant to be a taunt, but believe me when I say my victory is 100% certain. Yeah, it's kind of raps low key, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even with that in mind, you still want to continue. Ready as ever. Humans truly are so fascinating. So he puts the bookmark out. What would I assume he's doing? He's gonna swap. He's gonna swap appearances. He needs both his hands. Oh, black voice, okay. Bungee gum. They resume battle. What's this? Chrollo's running away. Hisoka's hot on his heels. They've crossed over into the audience. If I get too close, I'll be at risk of getting hit by his antenna. But hanging back and trying to stay just far away is exactly what Chrollo expects me to do. If I were to close the distance, and then he stabs a puppet. As expected, he's broken my line of sight to him. Chrollo's moving to the left. He breaks his arms. He stabs another puppet. Another one, he's used up both his antennas. He's gone. Well, well, this is troublesome. Indeed. Black voice use bookmark to maintain ability. Activate convert hands. Transform into someone using the left hand. So he uses the bookmark to maintain black voice. No, 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 no. One thing I don't understand about Chrollo's abilities is some of them go away when he doesn't have the book? Because he some of the books, some of the abilities he's using are stolen. I'm assuming Black Voice does not go away. Maybe the remote goes away, but the needles don't. So if he uses the book, if he has the book and he uses Black Voice, then he can use the antennas which he used. If he used the antennas, then that means that he can use a bookmark to either to either swap bodies or to place the sun and the moon, which he needs to put the bookmark on, right? But if he's only using his left hand, then that means that he can only transform into another person, right? Transform into someone using the left hand, that's what Hisoka said, and move the bookmark to convert hands. Close the book and hide. Hmm. Chrollo's thinking the same way I'm thinking. Where's the chapter? There it is. Wow, yeah. When did the antenna disappear? The antenna was definitely one of the real ones, wasn't it? Did he tie some fishing line to it or something and yank it back? Okay, so he can't maintain the ability if he's not using it, okay? Or if he doesn't have it onto the book. Honestly, I feel like the antenna is useless then. I feel like the puppets are better. The puppets are stronger because they give you more versatility. You only need to maintain one hand to use the puppets. And you can use more of them. Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down. Please try to stay calm. If you all rush for the door, it'll all make matters worse. Oh, yeah. So he made gallery fakes of many copies. He's using gallery fake, which means he had to release convert hands. Gallery fake requires two hands, so that means that's why he had to release the antenna. So then before he released it, he must have stolen someone's clothes and disguised himself. Where is he? What's this? The audience is rushing at Hisoka. They're attacking him. So he turned them all into stamps. Now Hisoka's a sitting duck, Loki. He has like no momentum. He's let Chrollo run away from him. Okay, so what has happened so far? Let me try to make sense of what's happened so far. So he started off the fight by using Black Voice. I think he moved the bookmark to Black Voice, and then he stabbed the robots, and then he ordered the robots to attack Ahsoka. So then at that point, he had the bookmark there, which means he still had, so that means he may have pulled out the book. He pulls out the book with his right hand, and then he uses his left hand to change into somebody, right? And then at that point, he moves the bookmark away and gets rid of Black Voice. and then he makes copies, right? And then he turns into then he does gallery fake, and then he starts making copies, and then he ends up stealing somebody's clothes. Then he ends up stealing somebody's clothes, and after that, he ends up after making the copies, over to he switches the bookmark over to order stamp, right? Wait, time out. Wait, time out. I need to remember what order stamp does. Okay. It controls puppets. Okay, I think. Okay, audience is attacking Ahsoka. After he switched over to gallery fake using the bookmark, because he cancels black voice, then he makes the copies. After he makes the copies with gallery fake, they remain forever. And then he stamps them. And then he stamps them. Yeah. Loki Chrollo's strategy kind of relies on the fact that the fakes never go away. Or is it that they only don't go away if they have the bomb attached to them? So Hisoka theorizes that he opens the book page to gallery fake and places the bookmark and creates the copies. And then he activates order stamps and commands them to break Hisoka. That's what I said, right? That's literally what I said, right? I think that's what I said. I see, after all, every audience member here would know who I am by name. So I'm dealing with around 30 puppets who won't stop unless their heads are removed from their bodies. Actually, knowing Chrollo's speed, he's probably managed to make even more. There's still got to be lots more puppets who haven't received their orders yet, just waiting on standby as well. Any direction I try to escape to is filled with audience members. Bungee gum. Look at this. Hisoka's flown up high into the air to avoid the crowd. When they all lunge at him, he kicks him away. Chrollo's behind him. Then he punches him in the back of the head. And then he has his book open. I was certain he was coming in, aiming for my vitals from my left flank. But as soon as he saw my reaction, he was able to adjust his attack accordingly. How magnificent. And Soka's fighting. He low key could have stabbed. Or not stabbed. He low key could have tagged him with order stamp, or not order stamp, with sun, or with moon, right? Or does he need both hands for sun and moon? Or does he only need one? Oh man. Wait, so what was he doing with the what his book here then? He only had the book open. He has to be able to use the sun and the moon if he has the bookmark in, so he can put this. He can put the sun. I think the moon is the left hand, right? No, the sun. It would be sun and moon. So the sun would be the left hand. Okay, yeah. They really don't stop unless their heads are completely removed from their body. The fact that they don't have any feelings or emotions makes them all a lot more trouble to deal with than a human. Soba swipes. He feels a presence. It's Chrollo with the book, and then he kicks Hisoka in the back of the head. He's playing it safe, waiting it out, looking for openings when he's absolutely certain he can land a hit, repeating the process until he can land a fatal strike. What a marvelous hit and run strategy. On top of that, he's slowly trying to drive me deeper into the crowd of puppets. So detached and devious. That also means he's unable to create more puppets while he's controlling these ones. I don't know. I don't know about that, Ahsoka. I thought, because he has the book open to like maintain order stamp, but can't he just like can't doesn't order stamp stay there no matter what? Doesn't it stay there forever? I could be wrong though. Because if order stamp stays there forever, then he could easily just swap to the sun and the moon and create an explosion. Or would he can add the sun to this to one of the puppets and the moon to the other puppets. So it's fighting. It's really knocking him back. He's not really taking off their heads. There he is. He gets one. He grabs the head. Other puppets are grabbing him. It's like for every one step of progress I make, I get shoved back 2 steps back. I've got to establish my bearings. Make room there. And he gets kicked. Soka hasn't landed a single shot yet. So the puppets are just still harassing him. He notices Chrollo coming in because Chrollo's boxing him in with the puppets. He's looking around. And then he slings his arm and knocks down a few puppets. Chrollo's above him. I've already seen your plan. Bungee gum activate. Contract. Tries to bring the head in. And he misses. I saw that whole move up. I mean, he steps on him. I'm not gonna lie, he's getting dog walked. He brought it back though. I know. So he must have did juice, juice, and freaking brought it back. That's a pretty solid blow. Oh man. Contract. He blocked it with his arm. He's still bleeding a little bit. How remarkable, even after all that, you didn't let go. Hisoka has successfully pulled off a counterattack. Chrollo is bloodied after that attack. The crowd is going wild. The referee is dead. This is unbelievable turn of events. He grabs the head of the referee and just smacks the puppets with it. He's using that as a tool to smack these other puppets, getting them. He notices Chrollo wounded, and he tries to hit him with the head. Chrollo looks at him, and then he's running away to the crowd. He got away. If I destroy every single one of these, he won't need to maintain the stamp anymore. And with his bookmark affixed on Gallery Fake, he'd be free to mass produce more copies. Definitely not a loop I want to get stuck in. Just 5 more of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cuts off their arms. As long as the stamp on this guy hasn't disappeared, that limits Chrollo's possible actions. His next move will likely be, without dispelling the stamp, he'll give new orders to the puppets. He'll give new orders out to the puppets, still on standby. He'll dispel the stamp, make more puppets with Gallery Fake. After that, he'll either A, use the stamp to give out new orders, or B, use his left hand to convert hands. He doesn't even consider the sun and the moon. I mean, wasn't that like one of his first attempts? Like he literally showed him trying to turn one of the wasn't the referee trying to turn the referee into a bomb, a copy of the referee? Option 1 is definitely a possibility after all the damage taken so far is still only superficial. If he goes with 1, according to my estimations, there should be around 50 or more puppet copies left. In order to secure a certain victory, it's highly likely that Chrollo will continue with the same plan of attack, chipping away at my stamina and aura. Okay, so all right, let me brainstorm a little bit. So Chrollo's been holding the book open. He's been holding the book open to the stamp. Wait a sec. Does that bookmark allow him to just use? Oh, does the bookmark just allow him to use this to just flat out use to use any ability? Like, I feel like he would still have to have his hands open, right? Because if he was, it wouldn't make sense. He would have to have his hands open, his hands free, right? I don't know why. I'm just thinking about the fact that does the bookmark. So if Chrollo puts the bookmark on uh say Gallery Fake, does that mean that he can use Gallery Fake? He can use Gallery Fake while holding the book up in his right hand and maintaining the puppets. Like his Gallery Fake just allow him to use a third ability? I would assume not, but if he can do that, then he has a lot more options. Like for instance, he can Gallery Fake and then he can maintain he can Gallery Fake with the bookmark and then he can maintain the puppets with the book. He can maintain the order with the book and then he can move the bookmark from Gallery Fake uh to the sun and the moon. And then that would allow him to use whichever hand is free with the sun, which would be the left hand, which would be the sun with the left hand. And then the moon he would have to do sometime else. The order stamp on his head just vanished. So he's gone with number two. He'll dispel this by make more puppets. Well, these two are options that he can do, but if he dispels the stamp, then that means he's making more copies. So I'm assuming he needs both hands. Never mind. Then my theory just goes out of the water. Since he has his bookmark on Gallery Fake, Chrollo will be able to activate it without needing the book in his hand while he stays hidden. But he's likely to cause a scene if he's spotted in the audience, looking the way he does right now, creating tons of copies, so risk me finding him. But what if he goes with option B and uses convert hands the moment he's done making copies? Finding Chrollo in the crowd after he's turned into someone else will be extremely difficult. Whatever happens, I've got to find him. If he wants to stay on the move while he's making copies, then he'd be where the previous puppet copies were on standby. So that he can create new puppets while moving and put stamps on his previous puppet copies. Previous copy puppets. Okay, so he does have to maintain the stamp. Tries to hit Chrollo. Misses. But what if inside his clothes Chrollo has had has his book open not to the page with the order stamp on it, nor the page with convert hands, but to the page with the black voice. Then that means he'd be holding a cell phone and antenna in his left hand that he has hidden. I can't go charging in carelessly, but if my assumption is right, then right now Chrollo will be fully on the defensive. He probably wants to avoid fighting under these circumstances. Does that mean my counterattack threw a monkey's wrench into his plans? Man, this is so lit, man. So lit. In that case, I need not to hold back. Yes, that's it. That way. Bungee gum contract. Floor gum release. Run away by attaching bungee gum to the fleeing crowds on the other four. The crowd builds up potential energy for me all on their own. He flings them all at Chrollo. Then he flings the head at Chrollo. And he gets out of the way. What's this? He's missed? Hisoka just let a perfect chance slip through his hands. Not at all. I'm just trying to get the trash out of my way. When I sent the crowd flying at you, I already had this attached. Ooh. No way that's possible. When did he pull it off? Crack the hell out of him. Throws the head at him. Me friggin' tosses him. It's not him. Ooh. Dang. I didn't even think he would do that. Okay, so what did he do? So he had to have used Black Voice because he was commanding him. So he releases the command with the stamp, and then he uses the bookmark to make gallery fake. After he makes the bookmark to make gallery fake, he keeps the bookmark on gallery fake and pulls out his book and puts he either pulls out the book and then he pulls out Black Voice and then he stabs the fake Chrollo with it, or he does uh he pulls the bookmark out, makes clones, makes puppets, and then after he makes puppets, he puts he puts the bookmark on convert hands, and then he uses both hands to swap places. Both hands to swap places, and then he changes. And then he pulls out the book, and then he puts the antenna into him. Probably. It's not him. He used the right hand of convert hands to create a Chrollo copy and was controlling it. So then he had the bookmark affixed on convert hands. On top of that, he's using black together with Black Voice, but then what's this? Sun and Moon, he's misled me. What makes it truly troublesome is not the fact that once affixed, the seals won't ever disappear until they explode, but that the copies they have been marked with, the seal won't disappear. Oh. So normally the gallery fake clones would go away. But you fix it with the sun and moon seal. So he used the gallery fake with the bookmark to create the clones, and then he had both of his hands free. So he used one of the hands to make the clone permanent, and then after that, he either pulls the book out. Actually, no, he can move the bookmark to Black Voice, and then he can stab him with Black Voice, and then he can still hide, or he can do whatever he wants. He can either Yeah, he can do whatever he wants at that point. I don't know where convert hands comes in, but somewhere in there convert hand comes in. Was what I assumed, but activate gallery fake, affix the bookmark, and close the book. Mass produce copies, activate order stamp, order them to break Hisoka. What I assumed, but activate gallery fake, affix the bookmark, mass produce copy, activate the sun and the moon, affix the sun seal onto the copies. So then you don't have to maintain gallery fake. Release the ability. Possibly both. The copies and the seals are protected by Nin, which becomes stronger after death and will not disappear. Activate order stamp, order them to break Ahsoka. That's what it really was. But since he has to fix them all with Sun and Moon, that means there are less copies than I initially estimated. Well, he doesn't have to fix them all with Sun and Moon. He has to fix them with Sun. right? He only needs one hand, right? But I guess that would mean that he has less copies though, because he's not prioritizing making the copies. He's prioritizing getting the sun and the moon and making the copies. But if it takes too much time finding him right now, he'll start making new copies at the rough pace of one copy every 1 to 2 seconds. Surprisingly, the audience members aren't all fleeing. I can't differentiate Chrollo from people just tending to wounded. They all seem to have accepted the fact that there will be casualties here, and they're quite calm about it. Well, look at this. Hisoka has made his way to the center of the arena and stands menacingly. It appears he's searching for Chrollo. Under these circumstances, Chrollo is free to set up any plans he might have. But he can't be too conspicuous or slow about his preparations. In about 10 minutes, there will be a ton of rescue personnel and security coming. If he doesn't finish what he's doing soon, it's very likely his copies that were waiting on standby will be carried out here along with the wounded. Which means he'll probably be putting it all into his next attack. He'll use the fullest power of his sun and the moon to create an explosive copy and be aiming to detonate it as close to me as possible. I don't know how many copies may come, but I'll need to fight to not let any one of them near me. Everyone settle down. Panicking will only make the situation worse. He's having these copies run wild to stir the crowd into a frenzy. He's got something more planned in the middle of this uproar. We have rescue personnel and security coming right now, so please try and wait in your original seats as long as you can. Break Ahsoka. Unbelievably rude. Pardon me. I apologize for the very heated, biased announcement that was just blurted out here live. I see he wanted to draw my attention to the chaos so that he could slip in his own announcement. In order to efficiently broadcast his order to every single one of his copies here in an instant, and on top of that, it would be easy for him to keep himself hidden. So all his copies have order stamp. So when does he stamp them with order stamp then? Oh, he doesn't need to maintain the bookmark on the sun or on the gallery fig because he uses the gallery fig and then he puts the sun and the moon seal. He puts the sun seal on and then he puts them frick. Oh, I guess he can use the seal with his left hand. Because his left hand is free. And he has the bookmark on the moon seal. He probably just alternates between the moon seal and the gallery fake, probably. Now all the puppets run rampant towards Ahsoka. What's this? The audience have they all gone wild? Crowds and crowds of them. Oh yeah, that's way more than freaking 10. That's like freaking oh man. He throws bungee gum at them all, grabs the bodies, twists them up, chucks them like bowling balls and hits them. Throws more bodies. Yeah, that's way more than 10 to 20. Yeah, he's getting overwhelmed. Ahsoka's just fending them all off with a human hammer. It's an absolute riot. 100, no, over 200 members are rushing to attack Ahsoka, bashing them all away. broken already. Without aura surrounding the whole thing, it really is so fragile. Puppet gets up to him, kicks him back. He's doing a decent job. Incredible. He's on a rampage. Why did they all suddenly go running at Ahsoka? They're probably all being controlled by Chrollo. Did you see that arm go flying? That's right, just like that. Crouch down. As expected, no matter how much I slam them around with this human hammer, if I don't knock down their heads, if I don't knock down their heads, knock their heads off, they'll just keep attacking. Chapter ends. Now, blew his hand off. But crouched down. I don't know how he did this, but this is freaking genius. Did you see that arm go flying? Wait. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. I don't know how he did that, but that was so smart. He rigged that. He rigged the head up. Good aims, critical. Aimed critical hit. When I attacked back then, his body's over there. Back then, he must have figured out which body I took the head off of. He looked like he was moving around slowly, having taken damage, but in reality, it was just him taking his time to attach a full powered bomb to the body. But a puppet with only a body shouldn't be able to self destruct on its own. So then, using his cell phone, he must have controlled a puppet and he placed a minus sign on, and had it touch the body with the plus sign. Oh, that is so smart. So he had so that body. So Hisoka took the head off the body and was using it as like a tether ball to like smack people with it. But if the body explodes, then the head explodes too. So he basically exploded both the head and the body. That was so smart. So I'm assuming after affixing the order seal, he had to have He could have had the order seal on the bookmark. He could have had the order seal on the bookmark, which would mean that he has to open the book with his right hand, and he has the antenna with his left hand. And then he stabs one of the corpses that has the opposite sign, and then he sends the corpse towards the body and blows it up. That's probably what happened. Bungee gun man attached to the ceiling just in case is also gone. This is not good at all. How disappointing. I suppose from here on I won't have the freedom to be able to analyze and pick apart your tactics. Time to go all in. It's do or die. Contract. That's a terrible strategy. You can just blow up the body, right? Oh no, he's just taking it off. He grabs the head, and then oh no, he's holding the body together, so he doesn't want the body. He doesn't want them to get near the body. I can't manipulate Nin precisely with my left hand anymore, but I still have my legs. He kicks away. He threw the body away and kicks away and moves his bungee gun towards the ceiling. Contract. The puppets are going after him, trying to get to him, flying up towards him. Then he bungee gums their heads off. He needs to throw away that head, Loki. He's gonna lose an arm. Puppets are going after him. They're chasing after him. Climb to the second floor, and if you find him, search for Hisoka. Get as close as you can and self-destruct. Oh, he can put the order seal on both of their hands so he doesn't have to put both. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Because he said the order seals have to touch each other, right? That makes a lot more sense how the explosion works. He gets near him, he blows him up. When he flies away, his hand is still messed up. He looks fine though. If I fall down there, I'll be a puppet. I'll be puppet food. But if I keep heading for the opposite side of the second floor like this, I'll have a horde of puppet bombs waiting for me. I've got to bungee gum to the ceiling. Oh, he lost his legs. He has wraps. Let's see. Well then, I'll have to use my left leg instead. And then Chrollo just throws a body at him. I mean, he's gonna tell him to. I've got to retreat to the ceiling, or else. And then he throws another body at him. And he falls into the ground. What's this? Going to die? Well, I guess if I'm going to die anyway. What is the outcome of this death match? Very beautiful. Very beautiful ending. I'll stop right here because my throat is getting dry. I'm gonna. Wow. What a good fight. So I'm assuming, yeah. So if he affixes the book, if he puts the bookmark on the sun and the moon, he can just put both on their hands. I didn't think that he could do that. I thought he had to put one on both. I thought they would explode if they had two of them on the same body, but they need to actually touch each other. That makes more sense. Yeah, his strategy was perfect, low key. He utilized literally his expertise of uh his mastery over his abilities and his knowledge of Nen to just completely outsmart Hisoka. He blew up the head that Hisoka was using by sending a puppet by sending a puppet to go um mark or not mark, sorry. By sending a puppet to go find the corpse that Hisoka was using so that he could blow up the body and then blow up the head. Like that was so smart. That's so smart. Hisoka was doing pretty good, but like he didn't have a strategy to win. Like his best strategy was to get close to him, to get close to Chrollo, but he just couldn't do it. Like he let Chrollo overwhelm him with the puppets. He let him get too many puppets. If he didn't let him get that many, he thought he had 10 to 20 to maybe 30, or maybe even 50, but he had like freaking hundreds. Just got overwhelmed, man. If you watch the next, read the next Hunter x Hunter video, stop here. 356. We'll be going in 357 next episode. That man got that man got destroyed, not gonna lie.